Hey guys, and welcome back to Little Black, but you know what time it is. Talking to you guys about the Fenty situation where a plus size model is being praised on social media. And we're going to talk about the hypocrisy of that. Guys, if you're new to the channel, make sure you like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for a notification of the uploads. And for those of you who are returning, we appreciate you. Stay locked, stay loaded. So, quite recently, Fenty released a male section of fashion where male models were also included with male items. And there was actually one model who was a plus size model, if you want to call it that, who wasn't your typical buff meat, in shape, athletic kind of physique as a model, right? He looks a bit like this. And there was a great conversation, especially on social media, on Twitter. If you were on there, you saw it. And many people were praising this model. In fact, he was getting so much adulation. Girls saying they fancy that kind of guy. You know, they like girls, a man that's like thick like that. You know what I'm saying? We've seen heart-shaped eyes and all this kind of stuff that was happening underneath this particular photo. And I think what was happening also was there's another conversation around this, which was, number one, I think everybody appreciated the fact that Fenty was not only just applying to women, but also to men as well. Number two, also as well, using a variety of ranges of models. I think for a lot of people who are plus size males, this was amazing to see that not every model had to look, you know what I'm saying, didn't have to look like this, a certain shape, right? And I think that was beautiful to see. And I think we need to see more body positive things like this. I think Fenty's and Rihanna, again, once again, trailblazing, absolutely beautiful, showing us where we should be going with fashion and not just looking at it in a polarized and very streamlined way of thinking when it comes to our models. Here's the kind of commotion and I guess the nitter, natter and chatter that's happening at the moment. If this was a woman, would this be celebrated as much, especially a black woman? Now, I've seen some of the pictures like this go onto Twitter, and it's a black woman that maybe even is confident in her shape, physique, size, and is, I would say, larger than your thick and curvy kind of girl. Yeah, similar to this guy. Yeah, no, hasn't, not as defined, right? And the conversation that I can see oftentimes underneath a picture like that, especially if she's confident in her own self and skin, is degrading. I can see fat shaming. I can see people having laughs and digs. Amen, saying that, you should be in, we shouldn't be celebrating this kind of shape because there's heart disease problems, etc., right? A lot of times when it comes to women being a certain shape, which is not your normative idea of beauty, there's a big problem in the community. First from men, and then there are women who've internalized, I call it misogyny, internalizing misogyny and sexism, right? And we know that obviously the industry of fashion is run by people who have an idea of what they think and feel at that time and season for what's beautiful, right? But the trouble is that the fashion industry, as well as other industries where they're marketing a product, have a certain idea when it comes to beauty. And so a lot of those standards then get imprinted onto a younger generation who carry those standards as they grow. And so what we do is that, for instance, it's called a halo era, I think, or halo effect in a sense, where when someone's in shape, has a good-looking face, etc., we attach positive attributes to that person, even if we don't know about them. It's something that we do. When someone is potentially a bigger size, we can tend to attach negative traits to the person or less favorable traits, such as characteristics of the individual person, not knowing them, to the person, right? And I believe that these things they happen because psychologically, people are more trusting of people who look more beautiful. Why? Because what we see on TV, what we see on media, is a portrayal that beautiful people are often kind, warm-hearted, lovely people. Part two is that something intrinsically within ourselves, when we do see a beautiful person, we want to attain that beautiful person's time, energy. And the reason why is because that person who's beautiful will have attention. They'll be made to be special in that society. And anybody close to that person will be also attributed to being special. For instance, a very beautiful woman okay, dates a normal guy. Let's say a model dates a normal guy. What happens to the normal guy? Suddenly everybody wants to know who this normal guy is. Why? Because she's special. And why? Because of her beauty. And so this idea, or the fact that there is a hypocrisy and a double standard when it comes to beauty standards, is quite clear. When you get a male who's plus size like this, there is great adulation and praises and everything like that for him. And as soon as a woman, then there's these viral, vicious attacks by men on our screen, on our social media. And I think the social media represents what men are thinking. Look, as much as we say that social media is not real life, listen, a lot of people hide behind the keyboard. They're keyboard warriors. But the problem is, they're not just keyboard warriors. That is their mindset now coming into play. So you have to take what they're saying seriously. So when I see the vitriol, and when I saw the positive comments from people towards the model, I was very, very happy. But then I had to consider, okay, cool. Had this been a black woman, thick, curvy, maybe not in necessarily your thick curve, but a bigger, larger sized woman, right? Would she have got the same love on social media? And by what I had seen experientially wise, no, she wouldn't have. And I think that's where we need to start changing the narrative. We need to start having plus size models. We need to start having models that are much thicker and curvier. I remember seeing Nike, I think it was Nike quite recently did, and this is how you know misogyny is real, bruv. Nike had a campaign where a woman was breastfeeding, and some people were asking, what the hell's that got to do with Nike? And it's like, listen, shut your mouth, mate, yeah? And just enjoy the photo op. Just enjoy the, you know what I'm saying? Like, the misogyny of men is because they are in a place of entitlement, and oftentimes they've not been educated or checked on their set of privilege. They are no better than white people doing what they do to black people. A lot of men, and I'm talking about black men now even, are no better than the white man opposing a black man, because they too do the exact same thing that the white man does to the black man. They do the exact same thing as a black male to a black female. The way they talk, the way they move, and the way they pass judgment on black women, So it would, you know what? It's something that we have to look at in our community. But it only changes when we have people like Rihanna and other people who, and Nike as well. They did a plus size model in that one as well. Who are going to start being brave and start putting models of all different shapes and sizes, so that we can eradicate. And listen, it's not going to eradicate what people like. Your preference is your preference. Beauty is beauty. But we've got to be able to celebrate all shades of beauty, man. All sizes of beauty. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and stop focusing on the so narrow, thick, thin woman. You know what I'm saying? That is the perfect type of woman. No, we gotta expand that. And when we do that, we have a greater chance for people to be more accepting of themselves, right? Because a lot of women suffer underneath the pressure, and the reason why is because when God made women, He made them to be beautiful. And I mean, everyone's made to be beautiful. Do you get what I'm saying? When I mean that, He made them to be worshipped. They like words of affirmation. They love to be plucked up by words. Why? Because the God that we serve made them in His image. And part of Him loves what? Worship. That's why He created man, so that we can worship. To worship You I live. To worship You I live to worship You. We sing, and those words, those lyrics, those meaning are a form of worship to the God that we serve. And women are a part of how God is. You know what I'm saying? We represent part of what God is. And that part of Him, what women are, they love that worship. They love that adulation, that adoration. That's what the Bible speaks about, the fact that women, don't be just focused on your outer adorning and appearance. Why? Because women from dawn have always been about their outer appearance, because that's how God celebrated. He said, the Bible says that the woman is the glory of the man. And when I say that in the sense of the fact that she's the booty of the kingdom. She is a treasure of the kingdom. Do you understand? And so that importance of her outer is celebrated in the community. It's celebrated in society. And so you see that even in the Bible, we see Esther in the Bible. Due to her beauty, she actually becomes queen. You know what I'm saying? Her beauty plus her character, but her beauty got her into the beauty show. Do you understand? And so we need to celebrate all types of beauty and not have one way. Yes, there are health risks with being slightly larger. But listen, let me tell you about life, man. life takes skinny people and big people at the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one has a handle on it. Do you know what I'm saying? So let's begin to celebrate that. And I totally understand the conversation around the hypocrisy. We're tired of it. I'm tired of it. Do you know what I mean? Let's start engaging in that misogyny, and let's actually start celebrating, you know, our larger women in our community as well. Appreciate you guys. The lock, stay. All up.
Yeah, man.
But the conversations need to happen. Like, you have to tell your wife or your husband what it is you like. Alright, let's say you're a virgin, you might not know what you like, but from the beginning you start, once you're involved in contest, you should have an idea, do you know what I mean, of what you like, and you have to communicate that to your husband, to your wife, try new things, experiment, all that sort of stuff.
You know what I've even found though, yeah? Or I've heard, yeah? Like,
he's experienced.
No, it's not experience. This is because what
trust me, these times.
You know what I heard? No. This is real life stories.